Easy guys, Dom here from Cringy Dad Gaming. So we're just about to take a live look at Shadows Awakening. This game is a single player, isometric, unique role-playing game with real-time tactical combat, and from what I've played of this game so far, it's pretty damn awesome. It comes from the developers of Vikings Wolves of Midgard, which is Games Farm. If you've not played that game yet, also check that out. It's also another fantastic game. This one, however, has a little bit of a spin on it. It's a little bit different, and you will see as we play through the first 15 minutes.
Perhaps I should feel some twinge of guilt at all I have done, but I've had little time for scruples. It was once an honor to be entombed within these ancient catacombs, but centuries have passed, and now only the brave or foolhardy walk these tunnels. Perhaps I'm the last living soul here, although I'm far from alone. This is not my story, although I am the architect of what transpires. A conspirator in the ruination that threatens the heretic kingdoms. And the most unlikely of alliances that might yet save us all.
Thou summons me. What is thy pact?
I seek only that we shall both survive.
Thou hast a liar's tongue, and cannot be trusted.
I do not ask you to trust me, nor should you. I would betray you without hesitation, if I deemed it necessary. But we are fortunate, you and I. We have the same enemies. Our only hope lies in partnership, which is precisely why I have summoned you here, demon.
So we're playing this on the PlayStation 4 Pro. The game is set to release on the 31st of August 2018, so not long to wait for this, which is really good. The thing I really like about this game, not only has it got some great narration in it, but the dynamic gameplay is pretty cool. So we start as playing as the Devourer, who's a demon, and as you progress through the game, you will actually devour particular souls of other characters, which you can then switch between and play as. So you'll morph from the demon into these particular characters because you're absorbing their soul. That part of the game is something that I really, really like. It really is something that I've not come across in any game like this at this point, at least on the PS4.
You were summoned without a pact, so whichever soul you devour will now bind you to a path beyond anyone's control. Choose wisely, demon.
So this is what I also like about this. You've got 3 choices of character, and each have got their own voice, action, and equipment, really. So different types of attacks, different voice actors, and yeah.
The daughter of fire, a princess of the Imperial Garulian Empire. She would have been God Empress if she had not rebelled. She died on the Reliquary Crusade 3 centuries ago. I don't know how. A mage with incredible potential. She had not only harnessed the elemental power of flame, but also learned the mysterious ways of the Sand Mage. Choose Evia if you wish to harness the arcane powers of a mage.
This brings great replay value to the game, because potentially you can play it all the way through as one of these characters and play it through again and find new skills, new, I guess, banter between characters within the story elements. I've been playing as Callig, who's a Scottish barbarian, and he's awesome. But I think this time round we're going to play as Jaska, who's a hunter, I believe.
Jaska, the wild boar. A great hero in our native land of Corwin. He fell in battle over a decade ago in the accession wars against the wolf tribes of Temuria. A hunter, a loner, and an unparalleled archer. He also dabbled in the skills of an undead slaver. Choose Jaska if you wish the mobility and deadly aim of one of the greatest archers I have ever known.
Jaska.
The cursed thing awakens me!
If I am accursed, then I am a curse upon thee.
So now we're gonna devour his soul.
That soul is mine now.
Will you not let my weary soul rest, demon?
Jaska, your soul now resides within this demon. It will try to control you, but it is also bound to your will in ways I do not yet understand.
Your voice. I know you from somewhere. But why bring me back? I have nothing more to live for. My wife, my son.
Your family may be dead, but your friends the Malfagans are in grave danger and need your aid. If you have nothing of your own to live for, at least save them from your fate.
Thou darest ignore me? Thy soul is mine now.
Demon, you need Jaska just as much as he needs you. Your fate is as much in his hands as mine is in yours. Now make haste to the city of Thul that lies above this crypt. A cenotaph can transport you there. Our fates are bound together, demon. Either we shall find a way to survive together, or we shall both surely perish.
Thou threatens me?
No. Something far more dangerous than I threatens us all. Join me in the Tholian Arcanum as soon as you can. We have much to discuss.
So we can now swap between the characters between the living and the Shadow Realm. And between the living and Shadow Realm, we'll, as you can see with this rat, will make different things appear. Like in this Shadow Realm, we can see spirits and ghosts and all sorts of nasty demons. In the living realm, will be anything that's living, pretty much. You'll also probably recognise some of the voice actors in this game. If you play a lot of role-playing games, you will definitely recognise some of the voice actors in this. Now, I've not played as the Archer yet, so I'm still getting used to the way this guy works. And this is the great thing, like I said, it will give instant replay value to the game. Lots of things to explore.
Or did you?
All good.
Thou thinkst there is a difference?
I am no demon.
Thou art mistaken. How pitiful!
So within these sanctuaries, when you find these, it will allow you to switch between the different characters. You will unlock different characters, as I mentioned, as you go along and you devour more souls, and they will appear in these squares. Then you can swap between the party members as you play through the game. And this really makes for the dynamic gameplay and combat elements, because you can choose characters in your party based on their strengths to help you throughout the game as you come across different enemies. You can eventually have up to 4 party members, obviously including the Devourer Demon here. The thing, however, is you will always have to play as that main character you start with. There seems to be no way of switching them at this point. I don't know if the further you get through the game if you might be able to do that, but at this stage I've not come across that at all.
It should be satisfying, but I've seen it all before.
So we just leveled up, so we can now go into our inventory and we can take a little bit more of a look at the inventory in its own right. So within our inventory gives you the option to be able to look at different weapons and armor pieces. Once you start collecting them in here, it will start getting a little bit messy, so eventually you can actually use a filter to filter between the different characters' equipment. But what we want to do is we want to scroll along to our skills. So you can only have 3 active skills at once, which seems to be a lot less than any other type of RPG like this. It does really make you kind of master all your moves, and I think the great thing about this is people are going to say, oh well, you've only got 3 active skills. Well, not really. If you think about all the characters you're going to be playing as all having 3 active skills each, it means you can literally swap between these characters to then use other skills and moves, which basically makes teamwork really important within this game, and that is an element that I really like, and I don't see this being used enough in RPGs. So again, it's adding a real fresh new touch to this game and this genre even. So we're just going to unlock one of these here just to add a different skill into this active skill, so you can see that we've added that in. Now we can go along to our attribute points. Each one will have a bonus to it to use, level up your strength, whatever you want to whatever you want to increase. And there you go, and it's a really easy system to use. I'm not finding it overly complicated. Some RPGs it can be very complicated to navigate menus and figure out how stuff works. This is really straightforward, and and I'm just finding it really fun, I guess is the only word I can use really at this stage. I love the artwork within the game. The art style of it is awesome. Love how it looks. It will obviously remind you of a few different role-playing games. I'm not going to mention any of them, but there's plenty out there that look a little similar to this. So it is kind of easy on the eye, but this does have its own little artistic edge to it to give its own signature. One thing I am still going to get used to, and that's locking onto enemies. You press down on the right thumbstick to lock onto enemies. I keep forgetting to do that.
Thou shalt know despair.
So it is a good idea to swap between the living and shadow realm, because sometimes you will miss things that you can only see in the shadow realm. The same as sometimes if you get stuck, like here you see, it would, I'm obviously early on, so it's showing you the tutorial here.
On the journey. I cannot pass this.
Hear that noise?
Let me investigate this in shadows.
Eventually you'll come across things and you'll hear this noise. Almost like a really low, kind of like wind whistling. Well, that does indicate that you can actually go into the shadow realm to get you across an area that you won't normally get across.
An attack.
Maybe disappear. My zombie's gonna get him. Another thing you'll encounter a lot of in this game is traps and puzzles. Something that again you don't always get a lot of in these role-playing type games, and in this you will get them, and it is also something that adds a new layer of fun and keeps the game interesting and fresh. Some of the puzzles are actually quite challenging as well. So now using both levers means that the fire's turned off. Sometimes you'll find that levers and triggers are a little bit harder to find. Some of them will be only accessible within the shadow realm as well. So always remember to make use of the shadow realm as much as you can. There's also a lot of lore and story that you can pick up within this game. As you find in most role-playing games, there's going to be stuff for you to read through that helps fill out the story of different characters and different factions and whatnot. So, you know, there's plenty of stuff to read. I've found it all to be well written and really enhance the overall game itself. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. That's the first 15 minutes of the game, and you know, I would highly recommend watching this space. From what I've played of this game so far, I've had a blast with it. It's very enjoyable, and as I said, the full game is going to be released to the general public on the 31st of August, and I would at this point say if you're into this genre, it's definitely worth picking up. So if you'd like to see more content, then don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and just watch this space for more Shadows Awakening. Thanks for watching.